Hi everybody, I'm Rachel and I'm back again, and today I wanted to have a little chat with you about herb books. And the first book on my list is my own book. This is a very auspicious day for me because it's just been published. It's a book called Clinical Herbalism, Plant Wisdom from East and West. And this book is really the culmination of all my herbal studies. And I wrote it because when I had my herb school, there wasn't any good herbal textbook out there that I felt was useful for my students. So what I did was, after I sold the school, I decided to write my own textbook. So this is good for people who are just studying on their own, or it could be a curriculum for a small herb school or even a college holistic program. And what I've done is I cover everything in here, starting from history on out through medicine making, herbal safety, a list of herbs to use, case histories, how everything a clinical herbalist needs to know in order to have a practice. And this is a long study. It takes a long time to learn how to do this, even with a small amount of competency. So this book I'm very proud of, and it has many pictures and tables and charts in it and all kinds of things to guide you to the right information. So here it is. This is my book. But in writing this book, I have a huge collection of herbal books on my shelf. You can see behind me there's many, and I wanted to point out to you a few of the really reputable references that I used in this book, and I use them to build on information. That's what all herbalists do. They build on what's come before. So with that said, I want to show you some of the major books that I used as references for my textbook. So the first thing are Materia Medicus. Materia Medicus mean the materials of medicine. And what Materia Medica, it's a Latin term, but what it really entails is having a list of herbs and talking about what they're good for, what the cautions are, contraindications, maybe the plant family, the botanical name, the different names of the plant. And so here's a couple of them that I really respect a lot. This one here that I'm holding up is 300 Herbs by Matthew Alves. And this has many different herbs from different traditions in them. And that's where I have been going in my textbook. It's a textbook about Chinese and Western herbal medicine, and it covers energetics, which are things like taste, warmth, and moisture. So this is one book. Two other Materia Medicus were written by one of my herbal teachers. His name is Peter Holmes, and he wrote, you see, these are well-used books, and he wrote a double volume series of Western energetics, Western herbs, and then he wrote another one called Jade Remedies, which has Materia Medicas from about Eastern herbs, such as ginseng or salvia, danshen. This one would have things in it from the West, such as chamomile herb or mullein herb or lemon balm, things like that, Western and Eastern. So those are the Materia Medicus. But in addition to Materia Medicus, I've shown you this one before. I have a lot about plant identification. And my library consists of maybe 15, 20 different books on plant identification. This particular one is from the area where I live, the Rocky Mountains, and this one is Edible and Medicinal Plants of the Southern Rockies by Mary O'Brien and Karen Vale. And I've shown you this on some of my other YouTubes. It's one of my Wild Crafting Bibles, and I always take it with me. But Michael Moore wrote a lot of them. He's a well-known herbalist, and make sure that if you decide to go out into the wild and look for plants, make sure you have one that covers herbs wherever it is you live. So that's a wild crafting book. Another thing is safety. I have a whole chapter devoted to herbal safety, herb-drug interactions, what's safe about the herb, what you have to watch out for, what are some of the side effects. And this is one of many reputable examples of books on herbal safety. This one, The Essential Guide to Herbal Safety by Simon Mills and Carrie Bohm, very famous herbalists in their own right. So here's a book on safety. So that's another area of herbalism that's quite important. Medicine making. I've showed you how to do tinctures, fresh tinctures, and I'll be posting one on weight to volume soon. And this is a very good down-home herbal explanation by James Green, who wrote the Herbal Medicine Maker's Handbook. This is an excellent book, and it explains things in very simple language with a lot of good pictures. So here's another one. This is one I use for the medicine making aspects. The chapter on women's herbs and reproduction, I had to go to Aviva Ram, who was actually, she's an MD and one of the first, she was the founder of the American Herbalist Guild. And she wrote this book on women's health. It's very technical. She is an MD, but she has wonderful information in here if that is your interest. The Chinese Herbalist Handbook. This and many others, one by Michael Tierra, I forget his name, the name of that one. But there's many books out that are kind of basic on Chinese medicine if you're not, have not gone and studied that and gone to acupuncture school. So this has a lot of the formulas and herbal patent formulas that I have used in the book. So you need to have your information on other traditions. Stephen Booner is another very well herbalist. This one on herbal antivirals. He has one on herbal antibiotics, and he has a lot of books out on the spiritual aspects of plant medicine. So Stephen Booner is another important resource. I have many more on my shelf, but that was just to give you an idea of the different types of books that you might want to have in your library if you pursue clinical herbalism, because you always have to refer to things. You can't remember it all. So once again, here's my book that is based on information that has come in the past, plus things that I've come across in my own foray into this subject and my own opinions on things. And I really think that this might be very useful to you. And this book that is just published is available on many different websites, and you can go to the YouTube, my picture in the circle on the YouTube. If you click on that and go to About, it will take you to my website link, which will give you places to purchase the book. And I so hope you check it out and enjoy it and find out all the many things that are in here. Thank you so much.